right, it's still the Break It On Papers review here from your laughter night, 32 FM 94.9 Fenya. And of course, we're going to be looking at the national dailies. We have the Punch newspaper, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, the Guardian, and a host of other papers here up for review. Right, we started with the Punch newspaper this morning, and a host of headlines are out of the Punch newspaper. Crusade row rattles CAN PFN. Annoyed PDP convention. Turaki forms. VK's camp celebrates. Nigerians serve the port and Trump's deadly ICE raids. Osun local government accounts. Court issues arrest warrants against banks. I'm not scared of vets. That's according to Attorney Joshua. Family Lagos ambulance clash over patient's deaths. Hell, bandit still holding my brother after collecting 30 million naira ransom. That's according to Kaduna resident. More headlines here says Makoko demolition displaced residents still homeless after relocation. Family Lagos ambulance clash over patient's death. And still here on the front page of the Punch newspaper, local government crisis. Osun court grants leave to quash case against bank. Soldiers overrun bandit enclaves, rescue kidnap victims in Kwara. All of those are some of the headlines here on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And quickly, we'll look at the Nation as well. On the Nation, we have dispute over 1.969 trillion naira FAC funds, delays January salaries nationwide. How I became pregnant for my husband's son, Nasarawa housewife. Seat at home, Soludo's solution forces test Monday. And JAM denies barring undergraduates from UTMA. PDP factions dig in as court nullifies Ibadan convention. Dispute over 1.969 trillion naira FAC funds delays January salaries nationwide taken earlier. Rivers VK's renewed hope. Family clash over alleged denial of venue. Kano deputy governor under pressure to resign after refusing to join APC. And more here from the Nation newspaper. And we have this one. APC e-registration hits 7 million rescheduled congresses. Tinubu's re-election in Rivers Shore. That's what WK is saying. And we have this one. Minister charges information officers to align messaging with renewed hope agenda. All of those are some of the headlines here out of the Nation this morning. We quickly also touch on the Daily Post and get some headlines too here. Naira records massive appreciation against US dollar across forex markets. Governor Yusuf condemns misconduct by youth at Kano Government House. Cristiano Ronaldo scores 961st career goal. AFCON 2025 Chile under 5 over snub of NPFL players. And that's a bit of sporting news there. And more here from the Daily Post. We have this one. 2027 Showumi reveals real problem of PDP. And we have this one. 2027 governors won't determine totality of election. That's according to PDP chieftain Showumi. Obokun APC crisis calls intensify for amicable settlement of what crisis. 2027 Rivers setting pace in mobilizing support for Tinubu's re-election. That's what WK said. And this one says, no attempt by obedient movement to hijack our party. That's according to Enugu ADC. And we still have more here on the Daily Post. US-Nigeria announced fresh trade deal. Investors at Nigerian stock market rank in 233 billion naira single day gain. That's investors at Nigerian stock market rank in 233 billion naira single day gain. And sachet alcohol ban. NAFDAC ignores outcry, resumes enforcement nationwide. Some of the headlines there out of the Daily Post this morning. We also look at the cable NG and also get some headlines there out of the cable this morning. Some of the striking headlines out of the cable: appeal court upholds death sentence for 5 of a bank robbery convict. Alex Oti, I'm still in Labour Party, but nobody knows tomorrow. Bolaji Abdullahi Saraki, Jonathan Rift began in Yar'Adua era. Otedola increases stake in first holdco to 18.12%. And we have Wike accuses Rivers government of denying Tinubu Group stadium access, vows forceful takeover. And he believes in Nigeria's unity. Ganduje says North will vote Tinubu again in 2027. Kabiru Turaki-led PDP rejects ruling nullifying National Convention, files appeal. Senate fixes March 17 for passage of 2026 budget. AGN reacts to Stanley Amandi's arrest over role in plots to overthrow Tinubu. And all of those are some of the headlines you find out here of the cable. Already we have Austin standing by for us this morning to do the we're hoping that we'll have Austin on the virtual platform to do the analysis proper for us this morning. We also have more headlines out of the cable. Resident doctors give federal government 4 weeks to meet demands. Daisy had no influence on oil contracts. She was a rubber stamp lawyer. Tells UK court Daisy had no influence on oil contracts. She was a rubber stamp lawyer, tells UK court. Alright, on the Guardian front page, we have this one. How about roads? Insecurity drive high cost of agro commodities. In 2027, Rivers leads support mobilization for Tinubu's re-election, says Wike. Pastor in police net for hiring coaches to kill rival in Bayelsa. And here we have more on the Guardian front page. This says Kano governor doles out 25 million naira to families of fallen soldiers vigilante. And PIDG exits IFRA-CD boosts confidence in domestic credit market enhancement. Said PIDG exits IFRA-CD boosts confidence in domestic credit market enhancements. Food security. Farmers lament importation of tilapia fish, and customs hand over seized arms ammunition to government generates 44.06 billion naira in January. Alright, it's still the Break It On Papers Review here on your Laughter Die 32 FM 94.9, and of course we'll take more headlines. I don't think we're going to have Austin here on the analysis proper for us this morning. Alright, we have this one from the Daily Trust. Electoral bill, what's at stake for 2027? And that appears to be the major one here out of the Daily Trust. And we have more still here on the front page of the Daily Trust. That says INEC chairman should step aside for credibility of elections. Soludo and the IPOP sit-at-home challenge. Nigerians elite middle class are depriving common masses. The journey of self-discovery, the fragile guardrail, Nigeria's democracy under duress, and that's a lot of feature there. And we have this one, 2027, those thinking North won't vote Tinubu, making big mistake. And Ganduje speaking here. Turaki rejects fresh judgment, says about a convention remains intact. WIKE seeks order to jail striking workers. All of that are some of the headlines there out of the Daily Trust. And of course, the striking headline here has to do with the Ibadan Convention of the People's Democratic Party. The nullification has it dents much hole within the fraction in the political party itself. You have the WIKE camp and of course the other camp saying they are not happy, the Makinde camp, with the outcome of the court case itself. And let's look at some of the things that make up the dramatic turnout after the court decision. And the Tamini Turaki-led National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has appealed. All right, it looks as if they're actually going to test the court verdict, the Court of Appeal, and is saying the Turaki-led National Convention Committee of the People's Democratic Party has appealed the Federal High Court ruling that voided the party's November 2025 convention and recognized the caretaker committee backed by the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, ASM WIKE. And for the WIKE camp, it is like what they've expected and what they were waiting for to happen. And now they're also saying that as the campaign is building up ahead of 2027, WIKE is saying access to stadium has become necessary in some states, and he will fight and take over forcefully if he's been denied access in terms of campaign, meeting the people and mobilizing ahead of the big picture itself. Already he's saying Rivers is green for the president in 2027. All of this is playing out, and as much as this is more or less politics and politicians playing their games, Nigerians still want to see a level of integrity applied, especially coming from what appears to be the main opposition party in the country. So much more is expected as we begin to see a number of changes ahead of the big picture, which is the 2027. And still dwelling here on this story, the court also directed Turaki and others to stop presenting themselves as national officers of the PDP. And some people will quickly sit down and ask that at the court part of the political party processes, are they part of the constitution of these political parties, or do they understand the manifestos? Why does the court need to allow itself to be played into politics? But you also have instances of the law, especially when you look at the Electoral Act and the provisions in which the other party has brought this case upon. But in spite of all of this, we also have instances of people asking this question. But Justice Uche Agomo further ruled that the caretaker committee headed by Mohammed Abdurrahman and Samuel Anyam remains the only recognized National Working Committee of the PDP until a valid national convention is held. And the PDP governors had supported the Ibadan Convention, at which Turaki and other members of the NWC were elected for a 4-year term. And it could mean that more members of the People's Democratic Party may have to decamp, because if the party is not settled and it appears to be a factionalized political system, it is whose power is much more bigger, or where they can get their interests really covered. What people may be looking after now, especially the politicians, when they know that the structure is no longer holding water, it might be more a room for many of them to decamp. But what beholds, what is the thing that stands for PDP ahead of the elections itself? And already we're talking about 2027 election. This is just January 2026. So it's going to get a lot hotter, as we are seeing a number of realignment, and the court also whooping individuals within the political structure into line to do what appears to be the needful here. But it also depends on what the appeal court will come up with, as we have the Turaki-led part of the political party already going to the Court of Appeal to appeal the Federal High Court judgment itself. Still here on this one, because this appears to be one of the major headlines in all of the dailies this morning. And it says, although the governors oversaw a smooth transition from the former PDP national chairman Umar Damagum to Turaki before Damagum's tenure ended in December 9, the WIKE aligned faction went ahead on December 8 the constituted 13-member caretaker committee appointing Abdurrahman Anyanwu and others within a 60-day mandate. So it's still a test case in court. We are expecting that something will come out of it at the end of the day. Justice in a way will prevail, whichever way it goes, and it must be seen in a way that will satisfy all parties, even though at the end of the day some people will still hold on to grievances and what the expectations are. So it's left for the court to decide, because it's still being tested in court from the Federal High Court. It's hopeful that it may get to the Supreme Court, but as the day goes by, we'll see what happens and what becomes of the PDP. Some people already saying that you can't be backing an interest in another political party and all of a sudden you're picking interests, in another political party. You can't be in two places at the same time. Just face your warrant and let's know where you really belong. All right, that appears to be one of the things that a number of people have said about Wike here. And people feel that if he has to be a member of the People's Democratic Party, be a member of People's Democratic Party. And if you have to be a member of APC, be a member of APC. You can't be everywhere. You must face a warrant. And some have categorized what he's been doing as anti-party activities. But it's the court that will determine all of this. These are commentaries in the public space itself. All right, I guess we may likely have Austin back here, this morning to join us for the analysis proper, but we'll take more headlines as we hope to have him on the program. All right, looking at the Vanguard newspaper as well, there are a number of headlines. Nigerians back Governor Bago on single tenure for governor's president. And FAC states rejection of 1.9 trillion naira stalls January revenue distribution. All right, I guess Austin is here. Austin, at the moment, I thought you were not going to join us this morning. Good morning, Austin.
Yeah, good morning, GBOLABO. How are you today?
I'm fine, I'm great. And how about you? I hope you're fine.
Yes, I'm very fine. Sorry for the delay.
Okay, Austin. All right, I guess I touched a little bit on the PDP convention and some of the dramas we've seen so far. But then, Austin, what do we make out of the court nullifying the Turaki-led committee and saying that the WK appears to be on the right track here?
Yeah, I think this is ordinarily expected. We saw the event that led to that particular convention. That convention was not supposed to hold, but you know the way our politicians they are. There was like two pronouncements of the courts, a court of competent jurisdiction. There was a particular judgment and another pronouncement from Abuja court. Then there's another pronouncement from the High Court in Ibadan. You see, once there is a substituting judgment, what the judgment in Abuja, Justice Lifu said is that PDP should go and conduct their world congresses in some part of the state in the federation, especially in the south and part of the southeast. Because for a national convention to take place, you must start from the world level, wards, local government, state, and all of that, which suffice to say that you can't build something on nothing. So those who conducted that convention in Ibadan, they know within their heart. You know, the problem have always been that, we don't want Wike to appear to be having an edge, to be having the upper hand. And this other camp, they run foul of the law. So as a person, I ordinarily expected that the court eventually will nullify this. You can see one of the major reasons why people that are leaving the party, they are leaving, especially those who have elections this year, because you don't know when the court can decide. This is another court that has decided now, in the Supreme Court. We don't know what is going to happen. But as a matter of fact, the PDP convention in Ibadan was actually not supposed to hold. That's the truth. Those who conducted the convention, those who organized it, they know in their heart. Some of them are negotiating their exit from the PDP as I talk to you now. It's unfortunately so that once upon a time, either to a largest party in Africa, is now in comatose. Unfortunately so.
Do you see Wike likely leaving the political party?
Well, we don't know the fate of Wike. You know, Wike is neither here nor there. He appears to be winning as far as the law is concerned. One thing with Wike is that no matter how you hate him, there is one thing with the law. I think he understands the game of the law very well. A lot of people will call this morning and say, oh, they bought the judgment. The president is the one that gave the judgment. Is the charge of judiciary, is the charge of everything. But you know that there was a subsidiary court judgment that convention should not hold, and you still went ahead to conduct that convention. So for Wike, we don't know his fate. I think one of his primary goals is to destroy the PDP, which is actually doing effectively. So we don't know where he's going from there, and I'm also sure that there's no enough room in the APC for him, because there are a lot of hostility from the APC as far as Wike matter is concerned. It's a matter of time. Let's see how it goes at the end of the day.
All right, Austin. Fact, state's rejection of 1.9 trillion naira stalls January revenue distribution. It's quite alarming that we're having disagreement over the volume of revenue that should be distributed among 3 tiers of government this month, which is stalled sharing of federation revenue in the last 2 weeks. Now, we talk about fiscal federalism and how much more these governors need to sit back at home and think deeply as to how to generate their IGR, because they're always going cap in hand to Abuja to get the free national cake. But here they are fighting over the national cake, and now salaries have to be delayed. Now, Austin, is there a way to bring them back to the drawing board to say, hey, go and do your thing in your states? Nobody's going to challenge you as to how much you make in your state, and ensure that some of your recurrent expenditure, capital expenditure, are met even without the federal giving some kind of subventions or federation sharing and all of that. We see that happen in Lagos State at a point in time where we have Lagos State denied of federation sharing, and the state survived on tax. So, Austin, what do you think with this recent one going on?
Yeah, this is just like a drop in the revenue. Before now, they've shared over 2 trillion. Now the state are of the opinion that this particular amount is way too small, and there are some other issues that have to do with remittances. Well, like you said, states should begin to think outside the box. A lot of the governors are beginning to do well in the area of IGR, but then the truth of the matter is that they need to develop their areas, especially their state. Expand the capacity for tax collection. You know, it is not just about taxing the people the more, but you must make the process of collection very effective. If the process of collection is effective and you are able to plunge leakages, it means that you can make more money for yourself. But they should all know that I think since this administration came on board, it has been on the progressive increase of distributable revenue at the end of every month. So if there is a dip, for example, I think they should look inward. They should beginning to think. Those of them that are smart, on the average, a lot of states have improved on their IGR. They only need to do more. If they do exceedingly well, they don't have to rely heavily on the center. But the truth of the matter is that no matter what we do and how we say it, they still have to get revenue formula from the federal government, from the central pool. The money does not also belong to the federal government. It belongs to the 3 tiers of government. So that's the truth. So for now, this is what we operate until we get to a level of fiscal federalism or a level of resource control. Until then, before we have another conversation. But for now, whether they expand the scope of their IGR, like Lagos that is any more in terms of IGR, they still wait for the federal allocation to come, because that is a matter of law. But state must enhance and develop capacity in such a way that they have to rely on the distributable revenue from the federal government for obligations that are simple as payment of salary. You understand? they could rely on it for maybe developmental projects. For every state in Nigeria to be viable, they must be able to foot their wage bill, especially when it has to do with payment of salary, allowances, and emolument.
All right, Austin, we have to pick these bills, and when we do come back, we'll be having more on the Break It Down Papers review. Please do stay with us.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggi Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggi Star Double Cubes. Made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggi brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggi Double Cubes today. Me and Maggi, so good together.
Wake up. It's choco time. Donald Choco is here with a taste you love. Just open, pour, and enjoy the chocolatey ride. Donald Choco 3-in-1. Ooh, taste it, love it. Donald Choco 3-in-1. Ooh, I love it.
Introducing the new Donald Choco 3-in-1. It's tasty, creamy, and satisfying. Taste it, love it.
The podium brings you the top newsmakers, the biggest issues for the biggest names.
I am ready to fight this fight. Many deputy governors cannot speak. I am ready to speak because I was in the front for this democracy. We will not support any stranger that only come when there's election. Of course, Oswald Godal is a stranger. We will allow strangers to come and rule us again. No!
Go beyond the headlines and explore vital issues to make sense of what's happening around you. Get answers to burning questions from the people that matter on the podium. Wednesdays 11 to 12 p.m. and Saturdays 9 to 11 a.m. on 32 FM 94.9.
jẹ́ nínú ẹ̀bùn owó tó lé ní 80 million naira àtàwọn ẹ̀bùn míì tó jojú ní gbèsè nínú ìdíje Golden Hunt promo yìí.
kò yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ìkéde yìí mọ́ rárá pàápàá tó tún ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀bùn owó tó jẹ́ 80 million naira àti ẹ̀bùn mìíràn tí wọ́n tún mẹ́nu bà.
kí ló dé tó fi sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
nítorí pé ìyá mi nìkan ti tó láti wá díẹ̀ tó tún lọ́rọ̀ owó tó jẹ́ 80 million naira nínú.
ẹ jẹ́ kí ìṣàwárí náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ ṣáà ti ra yálà òdiwọ̀n 30 gram àti 45 gram Golden Mon Golden Hunt tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ yẹnu rẹ̀ wò fún nọ́mbà àrà ọ̀tọ̀ kan kí ẹ sì tẹ *8011*1# kẹ́lẹ̀ ní àǹfààní àti jẹ̀bù ńlá promo parí ní April 15, 2026. Golden Mon jẹ́ kí gbogbo ọjọ́ ó dàbí wúrà.
مرحبا لو سهلا مرحبا لو سهلا أسوي كده رمضان.
أهلا وسهلا فمرحبا يا شر الكريم. oṣù ìbùkún oṣù àforíjìn oṣù rọmọdọ́nà máa wulẹ̀ máa rọra oṣù tí Ọlọ́run Ọba Allah sọ wípé gbogbo ẹni bá ṣe dáadáa kan níbẹ̀ òun yóò san ní ẹ̀san lọ́pọ̀ nínú iṣẹ́ ládàá tí ẹ̀dá tún lè ṣe tí ládàá ẹ̀dá ó tún fi tẹ̀sùn lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run Ọba Allah ó ní kí ẹ̀dá ó máa ná nínú ohun tí Ọlọ́run fún lóore sójú ọ̀nà tọlọ́run kí ládàá tèmi tìrẹ lè tún tẹ̀sùn lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run Ọba Allah pàtàkì jùlọ nínú oṣù rọmọdọ́n ìdí nìyí tí ìkànnì 32 FM 94.9 tá a kalẹ̀ ká sájà kan kòkó ọ̀zùgbẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn fi ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn ètò ọlọ́kùn òjọ̀kan tí a lè ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ nínú oṣù rọmọdọ́nà yìí láti jẹ́ kí ládàá tiwa náà tún kún kẹ́kẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run Ọba àwọn ètò tí a lè ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ bíi wáàsí ọlọ́gbọ̀n ìṣẹ́jú oníṣẹ́jú mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún oníṣẹ́jú mẹ́wàá àti oníṣẹ́jú márùn-ún bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ìrun pípè lọ́lọ́kùn òjọ̀kan àti àwọn ètò kíní àti ètò ìpolówó ọjà lówó tí ò gajara lọ fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé ẹ̀lọ́ Ali ní 081 43 38 0224 Yusuf 080 53 56 11 31 Ramadan ọdún yìí kò ní jẹ́ àṣemọ fún wa o Allahumma àmín.
àwọn tí tún dòde oṣù Ramadan mọ́rí abá.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Yes.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids Milo 3-in-1, milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggi Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggi Star Double Cubes, made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggi brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggi Double Cubes today. Me and Maggi, so good together.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. Still on to Break It Down Papers Review here on your Laughter Diet 32 FM 94.9 for here. And of course, we'll still have Austin Adumo doing the analysis proper for us. Austin, let's quickly touch on the issue of resident doctors giving federal government 4 weeks to meet demands. Now, it's been there and it's been back and forth, especially with the striking doctors who are not happy in terms of some of their demands here. They're talking about commerce. Some of the demands have to do with their welfare, and it's affirming that CONMES 3 has the approved entry level for medical doctors. Also, what do we have to say? Is strike the last option here?
Yeah, strike should be the last option. Most of the time, our government don't understand another language apart from strike. This incident happened some time ago. Agreement was reached. Governments must walk the talk. If we analyze this type of story, we must say that this government have been able to manage industrial harmony to a large extent. However, they can still do more. I don't think it makes sense to allow our doctors to resume strike or to continue to go on strike. Every workers, for that matter, these are essential service. My view is that there is no job that is non-essential. One could be more essential than the other, but relatively, for example, you are a rich man, you have a car, you need a vulcanizer, you need a mechanic. So every job, by my own description, some of these other jobs that we look down on, they are even more valuable in advanced countries in terms of wage and labor. Having said all of that, I think the federal government, through the Ministry of Health, will have to look at this issue once and for all. Like the way the federal government was able to deal with the issue of ASU, I think they should also look for a way to resolve this issue of resident doctors. They must look for a way as a matter of urgency to look into it. The Minister of Health, Professor 𝐶𝐈𝐒, is a renowned health expert, so you should be able to do something, whatever that they are asking for. Even if you can't meet them at the end of at a goal, you should be able to meet them halfway, meet them in the middle, engage in more negotiation, and at the end of the day, we'll be able to resolve the issue. We can't afford another shutdown of the health sector, honestly.
All right, Austin, AGN reacts to Stanley Amadi's arrest over rolling plots to overthrow Tinubu. Now, that was a coup that failed, allegedly, and from what the paper captured this morning, said Amadi was supposed to be a propagandist for the coupists, and he could not achieve that, and about 16 military officers too were picked up as a result of this coup itself. Now, we've talked about military incursion in civil governance in Nigeria and how much more damage that he did. Can we afford some kind of military incursion at this time that the world is talking about democracy and how to even get more independent individuals coming out to vie for positions of public interest?
Yeah, no matter how we look at it, coup is no longer fashionable across the world. We have our neighbors who are under military rule as we speak now. Some of them are facing severe sanctions. I know that some of our callers will call this morning and say, oh, let there be military coup. They will support it one way or the other because we feel that things are not going on properly. However, there are some things you and I discuss now, and a lot of us, that we can't say under the military. Some of the military has not even done better as far as I'm concerned. They have not done better. They also contributed to some of the crises we are faced with today. So coup is no longer fashionable. We also employ civilian administration because if you are saying, for example, that military rule is not good enough for us. Civilian rule must justify their election. We must justify this democracy. How do we justify this democracy? Through the provision of the dividends of democracy. We must make it work. We must make our democracy work. Because when it's not working, people start looking at alternatives here and there. I've told you I was also around during the military rule. It never really helped Nigeria. In Nigerian context, it never really helped us. So these are some of the challenges that we have. Let our politicians, let them do better. The president, the governors, resources, enormous resources available to us. Let them put it to use for the good of the common man. If we are able to do that, people will think less of alternative military incursion. Well, the case is being dealt with. It's been investigated. Some names are coming out. Let's see how it goes. A lot of people will react to this, but you know the penalty. At the end of the day, they will still be put on trial. Let nobody truncate democracy. This is the longest we have had in the history of our country, about 26 years. It is not good today. It can be better tomorrow. We'll continue to work on it. It's a form of work in progress, but we are appealing to politicians. Apart from condemning coup, apart from saying that coup is not good, there is this proverb that says that we say, God, do not allow me to eat the food of my enemy. And our friends, two things are involved. It's either they are not able cooking, or some of them have cooked and they refuse to give us. So what do we do? And our enemy has cooked already. So it is neither here nor there. But then the truth of the matter is that everybody witness a military administration cannot advocate for military administration in Nigeria today. Our case is peculiar. We are not like the other smaller neighbors that we have. In the 1993 June 12 protest, I have a family member that meeting till today. He's missing. Nobody knows whereabouts. He's missing, just like that. So we hope that our politicians will make this democracy to work for us.
All right, we'll open the phone lines right about now, 070-55,000 949 or 080-97000 949. All right, we do have a caller here. All right, the numbers +234 90 62,000 949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
This is Prince Bomiade calling from Apasa.
All right, please go ahead.
About the PDP National Convention that so that I know it was speaking third part. And if I will continue to say that we can always have his way in judiciary. We know the role of his wife and Peter Odili family, how they help him. But the thing is, if PDP should wait, he might get worse. That is why they have to go on with the convention. But Wike has never lost a case in the judiciary. Just of recent, he sued the workers at the FCT now. And I know at the end of the day, he will win. Because he always has his way, his way in the judicial system. That's my solution. Because PDP can't just wait. I know Wike will continue to destroy the party totally. Because if PDP should silence, things might get worse than this. Good morning.
All right, thank you so much, Bomiade Fusi. There. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, GBOLABO.
Good morning, sir.
Dave from UI. I say good morning to you, Justin. I don't want to mention the issue of PDP for now. Because if we support somebody belonging to a party and already campaigning for that party, it will be switching us today, but it will affect that democracy we are talking about in the future. That has never happened before. That's not what I'm doing, GBOLABO. We can making rally in River State. Number one, has campaign started, GBOLABO. That's number one. Number two, for anybody that wants this country to work, GBOLABO, President Tinubu was governor in 1999, almost 25 years after he signed a local. You ask yourself, his mate as governor in 1999, where are most of them? Where is Agagu? let's address Islam. The ones that are alive are relaxing. This man that has been slumping, collapsing, publicly on 2 occasions. I think for somebody who wants this country to work, to advise this man to just be finding time to step aside ahead of 2027 and relax. And simply, I look at that topic. We only saw little collapses, GBOLABO. A lot of turning, guiding him. He doesn't know what's going on in governance again, GBOLABO. People are using this man to cash out, to make money at the detriment of this country. GBOLABO, we are too wicked in this country. We know that this man doesn't have the capacity again. But because we are making money from him, let's have the best of today.
All right, thank you so much, Ade, from UI there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Miriam from Odejai.
Go ahead, Miriam.
Regarding the proposed strikes by the resident doctors, it will again affect our health sector. And also it will affect those seeking proper healthcare services. Sincerely, it is high time federal government yield to their demands and allow people with safe quality healthcare. Enough is enough. Time for them to do the right thing. Thank you, good morning.
All right, thank you so much for that, Miriam. The numbers again are 070-55,949 or 080-97,949. Our time is actually fast spent. We'll take this one. All right, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, BSC.
Good morning.
Good morning, Austin. This is Ngamari calling from Apata. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Now, Austin, well, thank you for preempting that some of us is calling and trying to say why is it that the court indicate which is group. Well, of course, it is what it is. If you look at it from all indications, everything has been everything pertaining to Wike has been a kind of winning for him. Look at what happened. The striking workers in Abuja. They gave the court gave that they should resume. Workers should resume. Now Wike is threatening to ensure that he gave them. It's a win for him. Look at in Rivers State as well. He said he's going to bombard the stadium if it's not being accessed by the governor. It's a win for him. And look at the court case now that came. That made him his own group to win. That his own party, his own group is the winner. So you can see that everything is working fine for him. And the question I want to ask is, the thing is going to favor him because he's dining and whining with who are we in the country, and we can't expect less of what is happening. Thank you very much, and thank God for finally coming in for us this morning.
All right. Thank you so much, Benga Mario. And Facebook, we have this from Facebook, and Emma Olebara, Dr. Mrs. from where it says, why is it that everything that works in other parts of the world does not work in Nigeria? And that's a big question. Fawole Femi says, all right, good morning to I completely agree with the position of Austin on the issue of coup attempt headline. The only antidote for the coup is good governance. Sulaiman Sher says on the PDP crisis, when our courts have now become a commodity for the highest bidder, the court will rule in favor today, tomorrow, and not the court will be against. I don't understand. Omar Day Adekule says 4 weeks ultimatum again. Some old story. When doctors are begging for basic welfare, the system is already broken. The federal government has money for politics, but none to fix the health care. All right, our time is fast spent. We have to leave the studios right about now. Austin, one shot as we leave the studios.
Yeah, let the politicians, those in authority, let them govern us well. Let them rule well. Of course, it's going to take time, but effort must be made to reposition the country and our various states across the federation. See, at times when people run foul of the law, it might end up in Wike's favor. Look at the hall that we are talking about in Rivers State now. You and I have always condemned a situation where governors will prevent opposition elements from accessing public and state facility. So these are the issues. If that case should go to court now, Wike will win. Because you can't stop people from accessing public. And if he win, we'll say it's because the wife is a lawyer. If my wife is a lawyer, for example, and I become a politician, should my wife now resign? Or if my wife is a judge, should my wife now resign? So these are some of the issues. We pray that God will help us. God bless Nigeria. God bless Oyo State. God bless 32 FM. God bless GBOLABO.
Thank you so much, Austin, for doing this with us this morning. God bless Austin Iduma as well. And that's the much we can take on the Break It On Papers review. And of course, Baba Fendo is up next. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the Break It On Papers review on your Laughter Dial 32 FM 94.9. My name is GBOLABO. You must call. Bye.